Nebula cube y4 is nebula square y4 minus nebula square y3. Now let's have a tabular representation of these third order backward differences which we have calculated. For a given set of same four tabular points, we have already constructed the first order backward differences, that is nebula y2, nebula y3 and nebula y4. We have already calculated the second order backward differences, nebula square y3 and nebula square y4. Now the third order backward differences denoted by nebula cube y, let's evaluate. Nebula cube y4 will be equal to nebula square y4 minus nebula square y3. Now as we have seen in the table, since we are having 4 data points, the value of nebula is evaluated only for the first below from the bottom of the table 3 points, that is y4, y3, y2. The second order backward differences are similarly evaluated only for 2 points at the bottom of the table, and the third order backward difference is evaluated only for the last point of the table. We can visualize this in the general table, backward difference table for 4 points. Let's have a look on this, which we have already calculated. You can see from this table, this backward difference table, it consists of 4 points, but it can be generalized. It has the form of a lower triangular form. It is in the form of lower triangular. Now let us see a backward difference table. If we are having 5 points, it will have a look like this. Since we are having 5 tabular points up to x5, y5, the first order backward differences are evaluated for the later 4 points. The second order backward differences are evaluated for the later 3 points. The third order backward differences are evaluated for the last 2 points, and the fourth order backward differences are evaluated only for the last point. One more thing you can see from the table, since we are having 5 tabular points, we have to evaluate only up to the fourth back order differences, that is only up to nebula raised to 4. If we are having 6 points, we will be evaluating up to nebula raised to 5. Similarly, for n points, we have to evaluate up to nebula raised to n minus 1 points. Now, example to construct a backward difference table. Now, let us take as example of 5 tabular points given, the x values as 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the corresponding y values as 5.0, 5.4, 6.0, 6.8 and 7.5. Let us now see how to construct a backward difference table for this particular example. So, let us write down the given values in the form of the tabular form. Now, the first order backward difference nebula y can be evaluated as, first 7.5 minus 6.8 will give you 0.7. This you can compare with the value, that is nebula y5. This is the value of nebula y5. Next, nebula y4 is evaluated as 6.8 minus 6.0 will give you 0.8. Nebula y3 will be 6.0 minus 5.4, that is 0.6, and nebula y2 will be 5.4 minus 5.0, which will give us 0.4. Now, next let us evaluate what is nebula square y. Now, same way, nebula square at the last point, that is y5, is given by 0.7 minus 0.8, which will give you minus 0.1. Nebula square at y4 will be 0.8 minus 0.6, which will give you 0.2. Nebula square at the third point y3 is 0.6 minus 0.4, that is 0.2. Now, let us evaluate the third order backward differences. Nebula cube y5 will be evaluated as minus 0.1 minus 0.2, which will give us minus 0.3. nebula cube at the fourth point y4 is 0.2 minus 0.2, which will give us the value 0. The fourth order backward difference is evaluated as, at the last point is evaluated as minus 0.3 minus 0, which will give us minus 0.3. So this is how we have constructed a backward difference table. Now as you can see, when there are 5 data points, we have to evaluate only up to nebula raised to 4, and the table takes the form of a lower triangular matrix. Next, some observations from the difference table. Now actually we can see from the table is, when we are evaluating either delta, it may the same case follows for delta or nebula, the same thing. If we are evaluating the first order forward differences, if we are having a tabular point of 5, the first order delta or nebula will be calculated for 4 points. Delta square or nebula square will be evaluated for 3 points. Delta cube or nebula cube will be evaluated for 2 points. Delta raised to 4 or nebula raised to 4 is evaluated only for 1 point. So what we can generally see from the difference table, whether it is forward difference table or it is backward difference table, is as the differences increases, that is from the first order, then we go to second order, third order, fourth order, and so on, the number of points in each column keeps on decreasing. That is the observation, that is the table keeps on decreasing. The next, if fx happens to be a polynomial of degree n. Now whether we know the function explicitly or not, even though suppose it happens to be a polynomial of degree n, then what observation we can make from the difference table is the nth order differences, that is whether it may be the forward or backward, that is delta raised to ny or nebula raised to ny, these nth order differences will all be constant, will always be constant, and the higher order differences, that is from nebula or delta raised to n plus 1 values, whatever you will be calculating, will turn out to be 0. Now let us take an example to understand this. So let us consider a polynomial of degree 2, that is we are taking as x square plus x plus 41. So this is a polynomial. Now what we are doing is, an equation f of x is already given to us. We are taking some tabular points. Let us take x equal to 0 and evaluate the value of y. For corresponding x equal to 0, the value is 41. If I put the value of x equal to 1, I will get the value 43. For 2, I will get the value 47, because the fx function is given to me in an explicit. Even if it is not given, it's the tabular points may be given and we can form the table. Now for the point 3, the value taken by the function is 53. Similarly for 4, it is 61. Now we construct a forward difference table like this. The forward difference table will look like this. Now you can easily see, okay, since this forward difference table, since the polynomial which we have taken is a quadratic polynomial, it is x square, correct? It is a second degree polynomial. The second order forward differences, that is delta square values, you can see all are constant, all are having the same values, and because of that the higher order differences, that is delta cube, delta raised to 4, which we are evaluating, all will take the value difference 0. The reason is, since the delta square column is constant, it is 2, 2, 2, which is nearly constant. If you subtract the same numbers, the answer which you will be getting will be 0. So it remains constant and all the other things turn out to be 0.
Let us now talk about Newton's method of interpolation for equi-space points. First and foremost, let us understand what are equi-space points. We talked about tabulated values of x, i's and yi's, where x is the independent variable. If the distance between two corresponding xi's, that is x1 and x2, x2 and x3, x3 and x4 are the same, then we can term that these points are equispaced or equidistant. When we have these kinds of equidistant points, say for example the values of x could take the form 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so on, or it could be 3, 6, 9, 15 and so on, or 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. We see that the difference is uniform between the two corresponding xi's, and hence these points are called equidistant or equispaced points. Now when we talk about these equispaced points, the interpolation method that we would be using is called Newton's interpolation methods. And Newton's interpolation methods for equidistant or equispaced points can use either forward difference or backward difference. If we make use of forward differences, then that method would be called Newton's forward difference interpolation method. And if we make use of backward differences, the method would be called Newton's backward interpolation method. Now, when shall we use Newton's forward difference interpolation method or Newton's backward interpolation method? If the point for which the function value is to be interpolated, that is for an untabulated point x, for which we have to find the y value, if this x lies in the upper half of the table, that is in the former half of the table, then we use Newton's forward difference interpolation formula. If the point for which the function value is to be interpolated lies in the lower half of the table, then we can use Newton's backward difference interpolation formula. But suppose the point for the function is to be evaluated or interpolated lies anywhere in the middle of the table, then we can either use Newton's forward or Newton's backward difference interpolation formula. Let us have a graphical representation to understand this clearly. What we see here is a table of n points, x1, x2, x3, xn minus 2, xn minus 1 and xn. And the corresponding y values are tabulated as y1, y2, y3, yn minus 2, yn minus 1 and yn. Suppose the untabulated point x, for which the y value has to be interpolated, lies in the upper half of the table, that is from the middle value to the upper, the position of x is anywhere in between the first half of the table, then we make use of Newton's forward difference interpolation method. Suppose the x for which the value of y has to be interpolated is located at the latter half or the lower half of the table, then we make use of Newton's backward difference interpolation method. And if the value of x for which y is to be interpolated lies anywhere in between the table, so now we are confused whether we should be using forward because it's somewhere in between. So is it in the upper half or in the lower half? So when the point lies in between the table, you may choose to either use Newton's forward difference method or Newton's backward difference method. Newton's forward difference interpolation method.
Now, what is Newton's forward difference interpolation method? As we have already seen, if the point which is to be interpolated lies in the upper half of the table, then we use Newton's forward interpolation formula. That is, if I take any two tabulated points xk and xk plus 1 which lies in the upper half of the table, and x is any point which is to be interpolated lies between xk and xk plus 1, any 2 points in the upper half of the table, then Newton's forward difference interpolating polynomial takes the form yx is equal to yk plus delta yk u plus delta square yk by 2 factorial u minus 1 plus delta cube yk by 3 factorial u minus 1 u minus 2 plus and so on, where u is defined as x minus xk upon h, and h is the interval size. Now let us take example.
The following table gives the population of a town during the last 6 census. A tabulated value for the years 1961 to 2011 is given to us. We see that we have got a table of 6 points. We are supposed to estimate the population in the year 1965. Now, as we can see from the table, 1965 lies between the years 1961 and 1971. What do we observe here? That 65 lies between the first point and the second point of the table. That is, 1965 is located in the upper half of the table, and hence we shall use Newton's forward difference interpolation method. So 1965 lies between 1961 and 1971. That is, 1965 lies between x1 and x2. And if we analogize this with x lying between xk and xk plus 1, we have k is equal to 1. Now, when we substitute this k equal to 1 in the interpolating polynomial, we may be able to compute the value of the population for the year 1965. Before that, we need to compute the value of u. Let us first have a look at the difference table. From the values that were given to us, we have computed the first order, second order, third order, fourth order and the fifth order differences. Please note that we have taken 6 data points, and hence we need to go up to n minus 1th degree, and hence we have taken up to 5th order forward differences. From here we can observe that k is equal to 1, that is, it relates to the first row, and hence the value of x, y, delta 2y, delta 3y, delta 4y and delta 5y have to be picked up from the first row of the difference table. Let us first compute the value of u, which is defined by x minus xk upon h, where h is the interval size. Since k is equal to 1, u takes the form x minus x1 upon h. Therefore, u is equal to 1965, which is the point at which we are supposed to find out the population, minus 1961, which is the value of x.